Hello, Fifth. It's the Poo Guru again. I'm going to start this particular series, Who is the Poo Guru, with this video. Just give you an overview of, who I am. Blue-eyed, dark-haired, white, male human. As far as I know, I was born just about like anybody else. Got a mom and a dad just about like anybody else. I don't know. I don't know what else to really start out with, besides just starting at the beginning. I know my life wasn't that bad, but choices were made that were out of my control that could have had better outcomes. I'm not fixing to go out here right off the bat and start diming people out and blaming stuff and this and that and the other. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to tell you about me. This is, if someone was to write down, my life story and vocalize it, this is what it would be. This is, will I get emotional? I don't know. Might even see me cry. Ha ha. You might see me laugh. Might see me get mad. But this is my story. This is how I'm going to tell it. Screw it. Let's start at the beginning. I was born on the continent of North America, on the planet Earth. There's a place called the United States. There's a state inside that United States called Georgia. And in that particular state, I was born in the southeast corner of it. Grew up there with, let's see, I'm trying to remember. I'd have to look at the dates again, but anyway, I was the product of my mother's third marriage, and it failed as well, and her subsequent two marriages after that. Later on down the road, I'll get into that, but I was the fifth boy of a combined three marriages, three in the first, one in the second, and one in the third, which was me. I was the youngest of five boys, and I think my earliest one of my earliest memories was I wanted to go outside and play, and I think I was probably somewhere between 3 and 5, somewhere in that vicinity. So I wanted to go outside and play, and my mom said no. I don't know where my brothers were, what they were doing. I don't even remember what time it was. So my crafty little ass said, screw you, I'm gonna go outside any fucking way. So I decided, well, I'm gonna be nonchalant and go somewhere else and do something else and That way she won't notice me. She was easily distracted. She had television, I think, or something other going on. Maybe it was my other brother's. Hell, I don't know. So I snuck out like the back door or something other, real quiet like, or maybe I snuck out a window, and I don't know what I was doing, but later I could hear mom or somebody yelling for me when he come inside, and I was like, I'm out here. I want to play outside. I'm gonna be outside. So I went, I went and hid behind a bush. I don't know how in the world my brothers didn't see me, because I think all of them was out there looking for me, and then I think one of them finally found me, or I can't remember. Maybe I came inside, and my mom tore my ass up. I mean, spanked the living shit out of me, or so it felt like. I remember climbing up on the back of that white pleather fucking ugly ass couch before it got shredded by one of the million fucking animals that we had and went through. Climbing up on the back of that couch, bawling my damn eyes out. And then what happened after that, I have absolutely no idea. It skips quite a bit of time. Let's talk academics for a minute. I vaguely remember going to preschool. It was, I guess it was daycare. I don't know. I was young. I was really young. And the only memory or two that I have of that place, I was laying down on a mat to take a nap. And the adult that was watching us, the adult female that was watching us, was wearing a dress. And I pretended to be asleep and really hoped that she would walk by so I could look up her dress. Guess that's what it's part of being male. Even that young, you want to look at it. So, academics, I remember Head Start. We called it Head Start, which some people might call it pre-K or pre-kindergarten. Going to that for at least a year, maybe 6 months, I don't know. That was after the upskirt incident. Vaguely remember gluing stuff, macaroni to sheets of construction paper, cutting it out with the not so child safe scissors. I think they had metal blades. I never cut myself. I wasn't that stupid. I knew to move my fingers out of the way. Maybe some stuff with glitter. Elmer's glue. Never did eat that stuff. Didn't make sense to. I wasn't that hungry. I think I had more than one teacher in that particular incident. I don't remember any of the other students though. But apparently I was a pretty smart young feller. Or else my mom just wanted to ditch me. I don't know which one it was. Who knows? Well, she raised 5 boys. Why wouldn't she want to get rid of the last one early? Makes sense to me. Anywho. Head Start, kindergarten. Got nothing. don't even remember my teachers' names. First grade, got nothing. Second grade, I think. Third grade. Let's see, third grade was pretty memorable. That's whenever, for whatever reason, the school informed my mother that I was gifted. Apparently I was super fucking smart. I don't know. So they moved me into what they called the gifted program. I was exposed to other gifted students, supposedly exceptionally bright students. I don't know, maybe they're just book smart. I got nothing. Don't care. Some of them were nice, most of them were assholes. So, bulk of them were what I considered snobby rich kids. There's a couple of them in there that were nice to me, but for the most part, most of them snubbed me because I didn't have any money. Never could go on the trips. Some of the teachers tried to take pity on me and raise money for me or whatever, yada yada. Whatever, dude. Thank you for the help. There was one guy in particular. He and his wife. His wife started me out in the third grade. So, he and his wife, they did a lot more good than the rest of them, I think. And I want to thank them for their efforts. I hope that I hope that you understand that you made a difference in my life. Let's just leave it at that. Computers. Third grade computers. I was exposed to the old floppy disk computers, the big old honking monster ones, A couple different games. I mean, they wanted me to try to learn all kind of stuff, but I didn't have the want to. Looking back on it, I probably could have applied myself more. But the rest of my life, the motivation just wasn't there, I didn't have... My brothers, I'm sure that they wanted the best for me. I hope. My mom did, but I don't know. I guess I learned a lot. I think I started taking advanced classes too in 3rd or 4th grade. Let's see. So I was probably about 4 in pre-K, Head Start, maybe 5 in kindergarten, 6 in 1st grade, 7 2nd grade, 8. Yeah, 8 would have been the change. Because at 8 years old, that's when roughly around 8 years old, I think that's when I remember moving, because it got crazy after that. I remember riding around the school. We lived near a high school. I remember riding around the school and some teenage girls I was just riding around, just, having fun, bit exercising and stuff, and yes, on a bicycle, 2 wheels, not training wheels or nothing like that. I mean, I was old enough to be on my, I was probably 4 or 5, but I didn't need training wheels. I was all jumping hills and junk out there in the parking lot. That it was a mess. I like it. But I come up on these a couple teenage girls, and what are you doing? Scared the shit out of me. Nothing, just riding around. You better go home, boy. Oh, I turned my bike around and I was out of there. I thought they was fixing to whoop my ass. I come back. Oh, it's war in, boys. It's war. I remember hanging out with one of my brothers out in the woods a couple times when I was young. He'd get me all dressed up in camouflage and best he could because I was small. I had food, just, well, government cheese and peanut butter and whatever they hand out to you at that time. Welfare office is what we called it. It'd be some kind of Department of Human Resources or something other to that effect. Product of a broken system, I suppose, but who knows? We'll get into that later. Hanging out with my brother in the woods, riding trees to the ground. They had to find little bitty ones for me. I was a little bitty feller. I remember walking along one time and a snake skittered off in the water. And everybody's, freeze! It was funny. I was scared shitless. Oh, I think I almost shit my pants. I really do. I was young though. Remember taking the back way over to one of their best friends' house. Lived quite a ways from us. So what else do I remember prior to moving? I remember my brothers. They had a couple different sets of friends, and prior to moving, I got to know some of them. Let's see. For the most part, I think they were nice to me. For the most part, there was one or two assholes. There was one that lived way down the road that one of my brothers hung out with. That I don't know. He was just a dick. But for the most part, my other brother's friends, that I knew about, they were pretty cool guys. I don't have anything bad to say about them, and I'm not gonna say, I got anything good to say about them aside from what I've already said. They're humans just like the rest of us. I mean, they had influence on my life, I suppose. Maybe just not as much as other people. Let's see. So, let's see. There was 5 boys living in the house, and prior to moving, let's see, 2 of them moved out and went to go do their own thing, and a third one, he chose to go live with his dad. So, now mind you, at this point, whenever I'm starting to become, coherent, conscious, or whatever of who I am, being a little bitty fellow that I am, 3, 4, 5 years old, there was not a dad present. Save the next to youngest brother. His dad was probably the most present when it came by coming by the house. My dad, I've got very little information on him. I do not have any face-to-face memories of him. I'll get into him a little bit later. Covered academics, so I remember hanging out with with the next brother up, hanging out with him, going camping one night. I say we they had a fire pit in the backyard, and we put sleeping bags out, and we slept under the stars basically, and it was pretty cool. Got to hang out with him and do that. That's a good memory of him. Not implying that there are bad memories. Not confirming that there ain't either. That'll keep you thinking for a minute. I remember trying to stay up one night, all night. I think I probably made it to about 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember trying to catch fireflies out in the yard. There was a tree out in the yard too that I loved climbing. I never did climb that high in it because I wasn't stupid. I didn't want to fall out of it and die. One of my brothers did fall out of a pecan tree trying to get pecans out of it one time though. Fell flat on his back, knocked the wind out of him. He was just fine though. I mean, he could have died. You know, there's people out there that get hurt less and die. He was lucky. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but anyway. Let's see. What else do I remember? I remember when one of my 2 oldest brothers moved out. He moved in with his dad, and I went and spent the night with him a couple times. And I remember he had a black stick shift truck. It was painted black. It was an old truck too. And I think that weekend or those couple days or whatever it was that I spent with him, I think that was whenever I learned how to really drive a stick shift. And I got to see all kind of farm equipment and stuff. And it was pretty cool. Getting up at the butt crack of dawn, eating cornflakes with no sugar on them, or very little sugar and very little itty, just drops of milk. I say drops. It was probably half a cup or so of milk, a normal size bowl for a kid like me. And it was just like, hey, cereal, cool. What's for breakfast? No, I didn't know any better. Shoot. There was one time I spent the night with him, and it was real cold. I don't think I got real cold that night though. It was just real cold. He took me to school the next morning, and he had a big old white dually then. I remember that white dually. It was pretty cool. It was loud. I think he had a white dually then. No, I think the white dually was later. Anyway, banana pudding. We'll start over from there. Well, let's talk about my dad a little bit since it's kind of fresh and there's a lot of memories popping up from it. Now a lot of what I'm going to tell is what I've been told, so I have absolutely no idea. I haven't researched it to know if it's true or not yet. So the only facts that I'm going to say are facts in this video right here are, you know, my actual life experiences and the memories and stuff. You know, like I know for a fact that I was started in a gifted program in like 3rd grade, you know, stuff like that. But as for my dad, from what I understand, he was some sort of drug addict. I don't know what he was on. They won't tell me. They probably don't know. They say that he was a thief as well. That he stole some stuff and tried to sell it for something. I don't know what the whole story was on that one. It's kind of, you know, I got bits and pieces of it. Absolutely no idea what my mother saw in him to the point that she wanted to have sex with him and produce me. So, she won't tell me. Was she in love with him? I have absolutely no idea. Was she rebounding from something else? I don't know. There's almost a 4-year gap between myself and my next up brother. So, yeah, that's a long rebound. If that's what it was, I don't know. I believe he was in the Vietnam War, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I've seen one, maybe two pictures. Get out of here. Let's see. I'm not his only child. According to people that I've talked to back in where I grew up, he had at least one other child, if not two, by another woman. And this is pure hearsay. I no freaking idea if it's true or not, but from what else I was told, and I believe it was confirmed by at least two different people, basically the same story, that, you know, of this other set of children, one of them, somehow or another, one of them got an arm broken. I think it was the boy, but I think there was a boy and a girl, but maybe I got very, very little information on that, so, you know, whatever. Yeah, anytime I tried to talk to my mother about my father, she shut that shit down quick and got mad or talked about something else or just completely avoided it, whatever. Let's see, anything else about my dad? Nothing else comes to mind at the moment, so. Well, let's see, I had 4 older brothers that I know of from my mom. Yeah, I said it just like that. 4 older brothers that I know of from my mom. No telling what kind of family I've got on my dad's side. Don't really know much about my dad's side of the family, so I'm not going to talk about it. Well, let's see, I had 4 older brothers that I know of from my mom. Yeah, I said it just like that. 4 older brothers that I know of from my mom. No telling what kind of family I've got on my dad's side. Don't really know much about my dad's side of the family, so I'm not going to talk about it. Don't know a whole lot about my mother's side of the family outside of my grandmother on her, or I should say her grandmother. Scratch that. Her mother, my grandmother, one of my grandmothers. I think my grandmother died. My grandmother on my mother's side died whenever I was like 7 or 8 years old. Yeah, it wasn't long before we moved out of the projects. Where was I? I remember going over to Granny's house on Sundays, and one of my uncles was there. His wife. I remember when their child was born. Makes me wonder where some of these people are at, but you know, there might be a reason we didn't keep in touch. They had their own lives to live. I vaguely remember cable every now and again. Most of the time it was just public broadcasting. They had some interesting shows. I remember going up to the convenience store, not that far from the house, mile or so, and renting a video game for the weekend. That was the coolest thing. Shoot, man. I didn't go balls to the walls on the graphic stuff. So I'm just kind of easing into it. I don't know if I'm going to get any negative comments off of this or any of my subsequent videos. If I do, fine, whatever. If it's making you that mad that you have to write some kind of just ridiculous negative comment in the comment section or whatever, ask yourself, why is it making you mad? And remember, if something's making you mad, it's got control over you. Just keep that in your mind. Poo Guru.